Just making my screen available, and I've just got my search screen visible there now. So we're looking at the browse list screen, one of the first screens you can start on the search screen. And we're starting here because when you display these lists of items as browse lists, and when you display sliders, you can now change the size of the images. There's different sizes available. When you set these sizes up on the browse list screen, all of the sliders, all the lists become the same size. So when you're on the main browse list page and you click show list editing in the top right hand corner, there's now a new option, edit lists size. When you click edit list size, you've got option for regular, large, extra large, or jumbo. So whichever size you choose on the browse lists, all of those lists, all those sliders will become the same size. So I'll just briefly take you through. There's regular, and there's jumbo. So the two extremes there. So they can become quite large, and there's some sizes in between. So edit lists size is a new button available when you display the editing functions. You need to be logged in with the rights to do this, of course. It's an administrator type function, a library staff type function. Show list editing, top right hand corner, and then edit the list size accordingly. One size will fit all. This functionality has also been moved across into the news page areas. So I'll just jump across to news. Now, as you can see on my news page, I have up some popular resources and some Matthew Riley titles. And when you edit a slider, when you edit the information box, there's extra slider image size. So again, regular, large, extra large, and jumbo. And if you've got more than one slider on your news page, each slider can have an independent size. So I'll leave the my popular resources as a regular size, slider image size regular. Just click save up there. And I'll change the Matthew Riley titles in our library. I'll click edit there. And just as an example, maybe make it extra large. Click on save at the top. Now, as you can see, this slightly larger size. And of course, when you start to make things different sizes, you can use the edit news layout option just to resize boxes to make sure everything fits nicely. So there are different sizes available for your sliders and your browse lists. On mobile devices, it stays as regular, like on Library Link, it stays as regular. Now that slide information would also move across to the Learn Path area. So I'll just jump across to Learn Path for a moment. And I might go to my books and authors, something like my Matthew Riley page. And again, on my Matthew Riley page, with a slider on my Learn Path page, I could use the edit button for that information box. And again, you've got the slider image size, so I can change the size of that as required, maybe make it large instead of regular, and just to resize that accordingly. So that works on both the browse list page, the news pages, and on any information boxes you set up in Learn Path as well, if you have the Learn Path, access to Learn Path. I'll go back to my news page and back to my search screen. Okay. Now, I'll just at the top of the screen, I'll just perform a search. Remember, use some predictive text to find the resource we're after. Search for Christmas. Got some Christmas resources there. I'm going to narrow that down just by branch to just the senior resources. There's my senior branch resources. Some are available, some are not. And what I'm going to show you here is that the sharing function has been enhanced to have some extra features. So first of all, I'll pop some items into my basket, just using my drag and drop. And I'll choose share. And with sharing, we used to have just the email option, the web link option, and the QR code. We've introduced the ability to share with Google Classroom and share with Microsoft Teams as well. The display of both of these sharing options, Classroom and Microsoft Teams, is controlled with a parameter. each option, Google Classroom and Microsoft Teams, has its own parameter accordingly. So it means when you click on these, it'll jump into that particular app and allow you to share accordingly using those apps. So you can say where to share it to, etc. That's just the Teams one I chose there. The parameters themselves, I'll go into behind the scenes into the management area. From the management menu, we'll go into parameters. And the parameters numbers are listed in the release notes. I've just taken a note of them here. One parameter is 7904, which is part of the other Google Books parameters that we've got, other Google parameters we've got. 7904, to search for that will take us straight into that area. So you can see there's other Google parameters there. And parameter number 7904 is enable Google Classroom. By default, it's turned off, so you can either turn it off or on using yes and no. Mine's currently turned on. Make sure you click save once you've changed the parameter. The Google Teams sharing is located in parameter 7570. Again, these numbers are listed in the release notes, and you can search for them as well inside the parameters. There's 7570, enable Microsoft Teams. Again, you click the edit button on the far right-hand side, and you've got the option of yes and no. By default, when we upgraded you to the latest version, they are set to no, so you will have to set them to yes should you wish to use them. Make sure you click save after you've made the changes accordingly. I'll jump back to the search screen. We've made a slight change to the display of authors when looking at resources. Just a very minor change, this one. So I'll go that one there. Actually, that's not what I was after. The grey ghost is what I was after. So when you see resources, you can see the information about this particular title. And we can see the details there. Now, when authors are listed in the details, you can see the authors are listed underneath each other, which makes them quite easy to select. Just at the top of the screen where you see the information about authors, they used to be separated with a comma character, and they're now separated with a semicolon character, so it makes it easier to separate the authors, whereas previously a comma made it a little bit hard to search. So a little bit of a display change there, nothing major. So a couple of changes there in the search screens. I'll go back to LearnPath for a moment. Now, LearnPath has a new feature for using the LearnPath Hub. LearnPath being a place you can curate content together to make it easy for your students to find. It's an extra add-on, the LearnPath area, so you would need to contact the SoftLink team about how you access LearnPath and what you need to do to make that happen. But LearnPath is made up of a series of guides where you can add your own content or import content from a centralized place called the Hub. In the LearnPath Hub, just going there now, the LearnPath Hub, there's always been a search button. There's now a browse button as well, and the browse button allows it to make it easier to find information. So clicking browse gives you letters A through to Z with a hashtag for searching for guides that start with a number, and you can browse through various content, and of course you can narrow it down by maybe I just want to see the secondary resources, so just by secondary, and maybe the secondary resources have been set up in maybe New South Wales perhaps. So you can narrow down what content is available by location and just to browse through. And if you take the filters off, it again shows all the information. And once you do find a guide that you'd like to use, you could so just click on say W. You may wish to maybe use the World War II guide that someone has created. You'd simply click the copy guide. go back into Learn Path, and I might say that's Year 10 history as an example. Add a new guide below this. Actually, import a guide below this, should say. And that will then allow me to just grab that guide from the Learn Path Hub. So I can just put that copy information in that I chose, import the record, and the World War II guide is now in my own system, a copy of it. So just to reiterate, the Learn Path Hub has been enhanced to allow for browsing rather than just searching. Click on Learn Path Hub. You've now got a browse button as well. Okay. Yeah, search and browse. There's two options there now. Okay, let's just jump back to our management area now. Recently, Oliver had new features added which allows it to very easily customize printed reports, your Word documents and Excel type documents by using templates. This has gone one step further. So I'll just jump into reporting to show you this. We go into the print reports area. And I'm just going to search for a report. It's a brief report I'm looking for. The brief title list with date and classification report. So if I click on that report, I can actually download the template that we use behind the scenes. By downloading the template, it allows you to change the formatting as necessary. So I'll download the template. The feature of downloading templates isn't the new feature that I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is when you're looking at the templates, each field is like a place marker for a field, like a mail merge type document. Previously, we used to use some special characters such as a little curly bracket and a dollar symbol. What we've done is we've adjusted those placeholders for fields, such as the title field, author field, etc., and we've put them in all uppercase and wrapped them around square brackets. So it's a bit easier to read and a bit easier to type if you need to, but typically copy and paste. But what we've done is just reformatted them. If you have made any changes to any report templates that use the curly brackets and the dollar symbol type templates, the process of upgrading to the latest version has adjusted all those accordingly. So that's seamlessly been transferred across for you. So when you're customizing reports using the templating function in Word, the field names, the placeholders have been adjusted by having square brackets and uppercase characters. Okay, a very major change here, which is we benefit everyone. We've changed the way, added an extra way of sorting your records, how they're displayed on the screen. And basically, you can click the column headings to sort instead of having to choose sort from a drop-down list. So I'm just going to the management cataloging area for a start. Just search any word, so Christmas, and search. And where the results are displayed, you'll notice at the top of the screen, there's now arrows next to each field, which allows you to sort. This is very similar to the sorting that's exactly the same as the sorting that's available in Circulation Desk. For example, at the moment, the title arrow is pointing upwards, which means these items are being displayed in title order, ascending. If I click the title heading again, the arrow is pointing downwards. My titles are now displayed in reverse alphabetical order. So when there's an arrow pointing up and down, that means there's no sorting applied. When there's an arrow pointing up or down, it means it's either in ascending or descending order. So things like classification, ascending order. I've got some resources without classifications. I've got a lot of ebooks. Descending, that's in descending order, my Christmas resources. So any column headings that you've got that have sorting available can have a clickable link accordingly. You've still got access to the regular sorting. So there is the sort button at the top of the screen, which allows you to select one or more fields from the right-hand side. So you can choose one or more fields from the right-hand side. The GMD, pop it across. So you can still sort this way. But as an example, GMD ASC ascending can also be achieved by simply clicking the GMD field at the top of the screen and having the arrow pointing upwards. One major difference is with the sorting that still exists is that you can sort by multiple fields, and you can just display which order the fields. You can determine which order the fields are sorted in. So if I did choose two fields, maybe GMD and title, it was sorted by GMD first, and then within the list of those records, they'd be sorted by title. So you can have nested sorting using the regular sort button. With the sort column headings, it's just a single click ascending, single click descending. It just toggles between them, up, down, etc. Remember, you've still got the sort button at the top of the screen, the sort button, and you can also choose sort from the drop-down menu on the right-hand side as well. So essentially, anywhere where groups of records are listed, including things like in circulation area, if we went to borrowers, maybe bring up a class of borrowers. By default, borrowers are sorted in surname order, but you might sort them maybe by their alias, perhaps, if that was important. You can't sort by number of loans because sorting by number of items I've got on loan isn't a sortable field anyway, so therefore it's not a column heading. Even areas such as cataloging and copies, where your barcode records are kept. I might wish to check for everything in my junior fiction section, search all the fields, and because I've got the cost column showing, I could sort them by cost. I've got some items with the cost or no cost at all, or if I click descending, I can see the most expensive items at the top of the list just by using the sorting column up and down. Even some other areas such as overdue notices. If we went to circulation and overdues, there's some column headings there, so you can sort by the name of the notice, the delivery method of the notice, and the frequency that it's sent. So there are some sorting available throughout Oliver. Again, this will make sorting a little easier, a little quicker and easier. And also, when you're doing any maintenance in your records, it does make it easier to identify potential inconsistencies or problems. Remember, if you do sort records, maybe by cost in this example, any problems or any blanks will appear at the top of the list, or any anomalies will appear at the top and bottom of the list. So sorting is a good way of identifying any anomalies. Even things like we can search for maybe the classification. That you can see JF, ALE, JF, etc. They're all sorted nicely. If we put in descending order, if there's any unusual ones, such as some of the ones I've got here, they don't have a classification at all. And one of these, the case of the cheese thief, even has a Library of Congress type classification. So sorting, now even easier, is a great way of identifying issues that may need to be adjusted. Okay, we've made a change to the way the statuses behave. Status information, I'll just go to cataloging and copies, for example, as Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Every record has a status. In this case, the status is on loan. There might be other statuses of available, missing, etc. In the management menu, there's an option there called statuses. This is where you can maintain the existing status values and create your own status values if required. There's a new column called Hidden in Search. Hidden in Search is either a on-off, yes-no type question, and you can see for number 8 there, missing, the Hidden in Search column is currently ticked. So if we were to edit missing, there's now Hidden in Search as either on or off. If Hidden in Search is ticked, it means that any copies that have a status of missing will not display in your search results. So the search screen where people do the student staff do their searching, they won't see those particular copies. If hidden in search is unticked, those particular copies will show when people conduct a search. In the case of missing, the item will still have a red cross on it to indicate it is missing, but the actual copy record itself will not show. I go to cataloging and copies. I'm just going to search for all my items that are marked as missing, so that's the status of missing. And we've got the accidental princess, its current status is missing. If I go to my search screen and search for accidental, accidental princess shows as a cross, which means not available. Click on the record, I can see there's no copies because the copy is not showing. If I go back to the management screen, back into the statuses area, and I'll say missing, so missing status, I'll say hidden in search no longer, so it should be shown in search now. I'll go back to the search screen and search for the accidental princess again. Click on that record, and if I look at the copy records, I can actually see the missing copy. So you can determine which copies won't be shown in the search. And by default, when we upgraded to this latest version, we did set the missing status to don't show it in search. So you might, if you'd like that to behave differently, you can go to management, statuses, edit missing, and tick or untick to match your needs. The hidden in search tick box works very similar to the way that hidden in search works for collections. So this function has just been extended to the status area where it used to be just in the collections area. I'll click save on that. Just to show you in the management collections area, something like filing cabinet A, if I edit that, if I didn't want the filing cabinet A copies of things, I could click hidden in search in there. So this function has been in the collections area for quite a while. And in the past, some people have used that for things like textbooks or for reading resources. So that function has been extended to statuses now. Okay, as Nikki mentioned, a lot of changes have been made in this latest version to how resources are shown on different devices. So if we were to access the search screen or learn path, even these management type screens from, say, a mobile phone, there has been adjusted, so it's a lot easier to read, a lot easier to navigate around. So a lot of work's been done in there. Apart from those changes which are shown you there, that's the new features to note from 8.053.